Hi guys, and welcome to the third video of the video series to investigate how the Nest Protect device works, what the communications involved are, and to figure out whether it's secure or not. So in the previous two videos, we sought to answer these first five questions that you see in front of you, and we found out that the Nest doesn't talk internally on any protocol other than DNS and DHCP. Uh, However, it probably does also talk TCP 11.095 to other Nest devices that you might have in the home. In my environment, I only have the Nest Protect, so these are the only protocols that we saw internally on the LAN. We also saw that it does talk out to the internet on TCP 11.095, which is a protocol called Weave that Nest Labs or Google came out with. We figured out where these services are hosted, and they're hosted in Amazon's AWS in Virginia in the US. The communication between Nest Protect and the services on the internet is actually not encrypted at the session layer. However, after doing some research, and as we saw in the second video, it does get encrypted at the application layer, which is excellent. And it's probably because that way you don't have to run hardware that is power hungry on these small devices used for IoT, which is a big concern in the IoT world. You want devices that are low on power, and therefore you don't want to encrypt at the session layer. It does consume a lot of resources on those devices. So that's great. It is encrypted at the application layer. Uh, we we were able to see a couple of things in the OpenWeave protocol, and that we saw the serial number and the software version, um, and perhaps the model number that's running on the Nest Protect. But other than that, it was all to us. It was all encoded, and we couldn't figure out what it is. And we found that it is also encrypted. So uh, even if we understood the protocol pretty well, we can't decrypt the actual messages inside the application layer. So that's excellent. The last two questions that we want to answer in this video are uh, related to the Nest app itself that is running on the smartphone, whether an Android or an iPhone. So we want to figure out um, whether the app directly talks to the Nest device or it goes straight to the Nest services in the cloud, and also whether the communication is secure or not. So let's do that. But first, uh, I actually am running an emulator called BlueStacks on this Windows server that I have inside my VMware ESXi host. And the reason I did that is for me to be able to have a data feed into the ExtraHop from within the environment. I couldn't really use my smartphone or my Android to collect data onto the ExtraHop, so I had to go this route. But it's a very good emulator. It basically uh, it's running Android, and uh, you can download the Nest app here. And I signed in with my account, and I can see my Nest Protect. So basically, I'm um, just gonna touch a few buttons here and there to get some traffic going. You can run a safety check. You can see history and so on. That should be enough traffic to generate. But remember, the name of this machine is CTX license. This is actually a Citrix licensing server. So now let's pivot back over to the ExtraHop appliance and close this. And let's look for that CTX license box. All right, so looking at the last 6 hours, You can see the overview for all the protocols on this Citrix licensing server. RDP is the highest because I'm remote desktoping into that machine from my Mac. But then the next one is SSL 443. And actually, I suspect that the Nest app on Android or iPhone is using SSL. I would expect it has the power and the juice to do so. So that's why they run a SSL. So first, before doing this, I want to see uh, if my app talks directly to Nest, my local Nest Protect, or if it has to go outside to the cloud. So running a quick activity map on the Citrix server, we see we don't see actually the Nest Protect here at all. See my storage, my NAS, my Mac doing RDP. Um, this is going SSL out to the SXI host, DNS server, on my Chromecast, Citrix delivery controller. So the only traffic that's actually happening here that's going out is going out to through the internet to Nest services in the internet. So we've answered the question that the Nest app does not talk directly to the Nest Protect locally, and it goes out to the internet. All right, so let's go back. And once again, I suspect that this is running SSL to go to talk to the Amazon cloud. And just a quick look, we can verify that by looking at the certificates. You can see here Nest shows up here. Um, there's Nest as well, and here's Nest, and so on. So we can actually do this in a different way. We can look at all the servers that's speaking SSL with my Citrix server and filter on Nest. And once again, you see uh, the IPs that were in the Amazon cloud, and we can verify this in a second. Let's just look at the last half hour and view this on a map. And there we go. Once again, it's in Virginia for AWS. The other location here is in Mountain View, California, and it's probably for a different app, something else running on that server. But once again, it's going out to talk to Amazon's cloud. All right, so we've answered the last question, which is whether the Nest services on the internet secure or not. So it is. It is using SSL, and that pretty much answers all the questions that I had. So to recap, these are the 7 questions. The Nest talks on DNS DHCP locally on the LAN. We learned about the Weave protocol, TCP 11.095 going out to the internet. Services hosted in Virginia. The this protocol, the Weave protocol, actually uh, uses the application layer to encrypt traffic and not the session layer, which was quite interesting to find out. The serial number and software version we were able to see in the packets in the payload of this TCP protocol. The the app doesn't talk directly to the Nest Protect in the local LAN, which makes sense if you're outside your local LAN somewhere. You know, you want to see uh, your home and you want to get notifications on your phone. You know, you don't want to have to go through opening ports on your local router and forwarding ports and stuff like that. So it talks directly to the cloud. And finally, it does use SSL to communicate out to the Nest services in the AWS cloud in Virginia. Uh, we mentioned that your phones are pretty capable of running SSL, unlike the IoT devices such as the Nest Protect, and that's why they came up with that Weave protocol to help with limited resources on those devices, such as CPU, memory, and also, uh, you need very low power to be able to use these devices within the environment, within your home. So thanks for watching. This ends this series of on IoT devices with the Nest Protect, and we've learned how this device communicates, and we've seen all this using ExtraHop. And this is one great thing about ExtraHop is that you don't need to install any agents on any of these devices because you can't even install any agents on an IoT device really. So that's where the power of wire data and observing what's happening in real time on the wire is very helpful, and that's the real power of ExtraHop. Thanks for watching.